So what we're going to do today is basically build a tenor practice pad kit. There's a lot of kits that go online, and I figured, well, I mean, it's basically rubber, plywood, and it's painted, so why can't I figure this thing out myself? So I've been doing a little bit of research. My son plays in the band, and he plays snare, he plays tenor. Sorry for the brief pause there, but we basically have everything we need here to make a tenor practice pad kit. And like I said before, we got our plywood. I'm doing some drawing out some circles right now. We're gonna do a standard tenor kit, which is from what I researched, at least going to Guitar Center and another local music store, was basically 8, 10, 12, 14, 14. I know there's some with 13, but he plays 5 in the percussion band. So we're gonna go ahead and basically trim this wood up a little bit, and trim the rubber we have here. And this is probably a total cost of $20 maybe for the entire set. So we're gonna go ahead and cut a little wood, and I'm gonna go ahead and catch back up with you guys here in a couple minutes. All right, so next step here is basically, I did my measurements, and it's kind of hard to see here, but I have a blade here, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut through this rubber with this blade. And I took basically an 8-inch plate. I used a plate, and you can, basically drawing out the circle, if you can have something that, like a plate or anything that mimics almost exactly what you're trying to do, or you can always just start off measuring from a center and then measure out half of what the circle is. So, for example, if you had a 10-inch circle, you'd measure out 5 north, east, south, and west, and you'd have the exact angles of the circle, and what you'd have to do is actually draw your connection from here to here. So kind of what I mean there is, like, you'd start here, let's say on a 10-inch circle, you'd go 5 inches to the right, 5 inches to the left, 5 inches up, and 5 inches down, and then basically you'd have to draw your angle. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it's kind of a homemade project, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out with this knife, and we'll pick up from there. So if you basically have any interest in what's going on still, I cut out 2 pads, and I did that both at the 8-inch circle. So I have them both here. They're not perfect. That's fine. I'm using this to practice. So I don't know anything about drums, so I'm not gonna act like I do. So, but I do know one thing is I'm dropping this about here, about waist level, and I'm noticing it bounces a lot better than it is with the wood, obviously, and it's a lot quieter. So it almost still does sound like the wood, though, if you start hitting that thing hard. So I went ahead and cut 2 out, and I want you to listen to the difference between 1 and 2. Let's do 2. So what I'll do is, to compare 2 to 1, move everything over here, move my rubber over. Let's compare quickly. 2, 1. 2, 1. Continuing on, we go ahead and we have our half of our big toms, and I cut those at 12 inches. So we have a 12-inch circle, basically, circumference, diameter, and these are 6 inches apiece.
You have this one, you have that one, you have
Yep.
4. You have like
Well, buddy, these are actually, we have 2. We're going to stick one of these on top of one another. So we're going to go ahead and move this over here. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to work and start cutting this up. And
we're going to show you how to do this. So
that's right, buddy.
It's
going to be something like that.
Show you how
So
you do it.
we're going to go stick that there. So we're pretty close to being done, but I think this needs to be angled just a little bit more. Yep. So it's something like that, and I'll post a picture here in a second so you can kind of see what one looks like. And here's where we're at right now. So we made our cutouts, and like I said, it's basically a 1/4-inch plywood, and we have some truck liner, which is really just, it's really just rubber. So sorry about that. My kid plays. He's trying out for tenor, but he's played tenor before, and snare and bass, mostly a bunch of other percussion instruments and whatnot. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and maybe put another pad. Maybe put another one here, but let's go ahead and test it out. We're gonna go ahead and test it out. We're gonna cut the wood and everything, and we're gonna glue it down. So we're gonna test it out with 5, just kind of see what it feels like. So, like I said, I don't know anything about drums, but I do today. Alright, moving on. So what we have here is a Tenor practice pad drum set, and right now this is actually only the first layer, and I was trying to figure out exactly how to get this on this on this quarter inch board, and over here on this one I kind of super glued it. I mean, it sticks pretty decent here, and these ones are just kind of stapled down. So you see how they're kind of popping up. But I'm gonna put another pad. I have more pads here, so I'm gonna put a second layer, because one layer, obviously from the video earlier, it's not enough. It still kind of sounds like wood. So I'm gonna put a second layer on each one, similar like that. And those ones, when I put them on, I'm gonna super glue them down with a lot, so they should hold really, really good. And we'll pick it up from there. So I'm gonna try to figure out if I want to either cut this trim out, and maybe have a couple pieces joined, maybe a connection here where there's wood there, and then have a centerpiece. But I need to figure out a way to put this on a snare stand or something to where you can practice on it. So the pads are glued on now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up painting this. I basically took a snare stand and I flipped it upside down to kind of fit the plywood. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's ingenuity right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a test run. All right, so let's go ahead and test it out. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Closer, tiny dancer.
Yeah, look at that speed, man. And this is the final result. So I went ahead and painted everything black, and I got it mounted on a pad kit. I got a bolt right there holding everything on. A little bit of rubber around it, so that in case it gets hit with a stick. And here's your snare stand. So I'm not sure if he's gonna play that pad on that stand, but I figure what the hell would be a cool option. So there you go.